Got a hair in my mouth. Ugh, it's probably one of my own hairs. I try to eat my own hairs.
Is that worse to you? I find that comforting. When I pull it out, I'm like, oh, thank God, this is mine.
Donkey hair.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. It's Hey Watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm your major host, Dan Goodsell.
And I'm your minor guest star, Tony Zach.
More like assistant to the host, but, you know.
So I should be sitting on like a separate couch in the back corner and just like quipping.
Hey now. So we're a couple of assholes who watch movies and then talk about these movies to an audience of about 15 people.
Are we up to 15?
I think we got.
This is stratospheric.
We're doing it. I was looking at our views. I think we had 15 views on the last one, but I do believe the one before that was around 9. So
okay.
So you know, our trajectory is in a stable direction at best. It's not going full coronavirus third wave, exponential. Right. It's kind of like,
sure.
Hopefully, we want our viewership to sort of track where coronavirus goes, which is very low levels tending towards lower.
Perfect. Yeah. Like a golf score, the lower the better for us.
That's the way we look at it.
Real niche brand, as they say.
So this week, Tony picked a brand new movie.
Yep.
Tell us about that. Well, is it a brand new movie?
Is it a movie? Yeah, well, it just dropped. We did Space Jam. I don't know when. A couple months ago, probably. And it's the greatest film of all time. So when the sequel dropped on HBO Max, I jumped on it. I said, let's do Space Jam, A New Legacy. Is that what it's called?
Space Jam, A New Legacy, 2021, an hour and 55 minutes.
It has no business being almost 2 hours long. Oh my God. It was painful.
It's pretty interesting because I wrote it down. The game starts at an hour and 10 minutes in. So the game takes about
like 40 minutes?
About 30 minutes, with the credits and
That's too long for a not basketball game. That's almost the length of like a real basketball half.
This is what I'm going to say about this movie.
Okay.
I didn't hate
it. Dan, wrong. That's erroneous. Here's what I'll say about this movie. Yeah. This is the worst movie we've done on the podcast, and I've never been angrier.
I'm going to say I thought this movie was okay because it had an actual plot that it spelled out, point A, point B, point C. And I was like, okay. And I mean, his sort of emotional connection to the kid at the end. I was like, okay, I like this. I have a little bit of emotional connection to this. Third thing I'm going to say is I thought the basketball game was sort of paced in a way that felt like it sort of made sense, as opposed to I don't even remember what the first Space Jam basketball game was like. It felt like
it's not really about basketball. No one comes to this movie to see basketball, Dan. We want like jokes. We want Looney Tunes blowing each other up, and we want Michael Jordan doing that. That's all we want. Okay. I don't want to watch like 20 minutes of a real semi-basketball game. I don't care. LeBron, no. It's so dumb. Where's the fun? We had zero fun this whole time. I got lots of things to say. Yes,
talked about it at the end that it's about fun, and he explains copiously about how having fun, and then he acts like he's over there with the Looney Tunes having fun. So we're like, they must be having fun. If he's acting like
is he having fun? At one point, I don't remember exactly where it is during I think it's pregame, but all the Looney Tunes are doing like something crazy, and they're like, "We're fun over here," and this is LeBron's fun face. That's it. He looks like an idiot. I can't. Is he taking a dump? I don't know what he's doing. He's not having fun.
That's right at the point where they're starting to score points because LeBron has let them off the leash, and they're allowed to be Looney Tunes again. Because that's the whole story arc is his kid wants to be a game designer. LeBron wants him to be a basketball player, even though he's like 2 feet tall and like, come on, give me a break. If it casts like a kid that's like, 6'1", and you're like, oh shit, this kid,
he could be a star.
He could be a baller. He's just like LeBron's got to he looks down on this kid, and the kid's like 12, and you're like, this ain't happening. LeBron was 6 feet at 12, I'm sure. So basically, LeBron's like, you got to work hard, and the only thing you can work hard at is basketball. And the kid's like, I want to do what I want to do, Dad. And he's like, nope, you gotta follow my exact same path. And then at a certain point, LeBron realizes, oh, we all have to follow our own paths.
Does he? Does
he realize that? Yeah.
Does he?
He lets him go to the E3 camp. Yeah. So, I mean, at least the plot is a plot. In like the first it's like, I don't even know what the hell happened in that movie.
Because again, it's not about, all right, listen, the person who wrote this movie, peoples, whoever they were.
I can't believe a person wrote this. I think an actual computer algorithm probably wrote this movie.
First of all, we got to talk about algorithm. Okay, hold on.
We're not doing the algorithm.
Hold up.
No, we're not doing him yet.
He lets him go to this computer camp, but he tells him that he's going to basketball camp. So this kid doesn't bring any of his computer gear. He's not ready for computer camp. He's going to go to computer camp and fail miserably. He doesn't have any hard drives. He doesn't have his external monitors. He's got a whole control set up at home. He's got 4 monitors. What, Dan? What?
Wrong, technical. All he needs is that phone with the digitizer. He has the magical implement that can do anything.
So no, but he's not going to be coding at the camp then. He's going to have a project already done. He doesn't code.
It just injects reality into the phone.
But that's not what camp is. Camp is you going and learning things. He's going to be in classes. He's going to need a laptop, a second monitor. He needs a bunch of things that he doesn't have because he's got a basketball in a backpack. That's it.
Oh, so you needed Malik. You needed to see a scene with Malik showing up with a
bunch of gear. They should have met. They should have met him at the camp, and he's like, "Look at all this stuff.
Here's all your gear. I bought. Just because we need to show how excessively wealthy he is, because we didn't see that during the movie."
I mean, listen, This is how I describe this movie. Ready? It's as if somebody saw Hook and was like, oh, that's a fun story with a terrible, overbearing father who then learns to let his son be himself. Great, but they didn't realize that there's an emotional through line that they should do, and they just forgot that part. And then the other person who wrote that, there must be a team of 2. They saw Space Jam, and they were like, you know what must be good about this movie is the basketball. Not the fun, not the jokes, not the self-referential humor, the breaking of the fourth wall, the winks to the audience, all of the stuff we love from Space Jam. Take it out of the movie. Let's take it very seriously, and then also suck LeBron's dick for 2 hours. Oh!
Okay, I'm going to give you some of that. I'm going to concede one more point about this movie.
Okay.
Nothing funny in this movie happens.
Zero funny things happen. How is that possible?
I'm trying to think if I wrote. I don't think there was one joke that landed. Not that there were jokes. Let me rephrase that. There wasn't. Something didn't happen. Nothing happened in this movie that could have made you laugh.
100%. 100%.
But what I'm saying, the 2 things I liked about it is it had an actual emotional through line, which worked a little bit. And the basketball game felt like it was a basketball game that went through ups and downs. And
sure, I will give you the basketball game. I just don't want to see. I don't care about the basketball game.
Well, that was one of the things that really annoyed me about the first Space Jam is that the basketball.
Both of the things you just mentioned are things that annoyed you about the first one. You didn't like that the plot made no sense. We Space Jammers, we don't care. The plot is third on our list of things that matter. And then, the basketball game is a basketball game, unlike the first one where it's just like hijinks and fun and then, sexy Lola Bunny. Whatever.
So those are the two things I liked about the movie, which made me not hate it. Now we can talk about all the bad stuff in the movie, because I will say there is a lot of bad.
It's all bad. It's all so much bad.
So we start.
All right, yeah.
LeBron's
Let's
a
get into
kid.
it.
He misses the winning shot because he got a Game Boy, and then
see, you're already skating over how terrible this movie is. Let's set this up in a real way, okay? LeBron's going to his basketball game. His mom can't go because she has to work. So that tells us what?
That mom works for a living.
She has to work probably, double shifts maybe, because they're probably poor and struggling.
Yep.
And I assume a single mother. Right? All that kind of makes sense. I mean, they don't spell that out because it has no effect on the entirety of the rest of the movie. So why is it in the opening scene? But I digress. Then he gets a Game Boy, a beautiful Game Boy. So much fun.
Used.
I mean, sure, it's used because his friend got a new Game Boy Color. Yeah. All very exciting. But the Game Boy's still great.
Used.
Kids love them.
Used.
What does he do with it, Dan?
Plays with it. Plays Looney.
And then?
Well, then it's like, Mom, somebody throws it away. The coach throws it away.
He throws it away. The coach gives him an ultimatum and is like, you can either play basketball or you can waste your life on video games. And he throws away a Game Boy. After we just saw that they are poor and struggling, he decides to throw away something he could sell. Let's say that he could sell that and get a little money. He could buy new sneakers or something. But more importantly, you threw away a gift from your best friend on the same day that he gave it to you. Instead of just giving it to somebody else, pay it forward. It's a perfectly good Game Boy. They're better a bit. There should have been a scene where another kid finds it in the trash and he's like, Eureka, I just found a Game Boy. I'm so happy.
That should have been like Bill Gates. Then he created Microsoft after he found that Game Boy in the trash. That's
a great movie.
That's the total.
I was infuriated from the very first moment of this movie.
Now we go into the credits and we have a montage of LeBron being the greatest ever, which Tony got very angry about.
I did, and I was told that it's hypocritical because in the original Space Jam they do a similar thing.
Same thing.
It's not the same. Here's the difference is that they make a point in this movie about talking about how LeBron has been on like 9 teams because he has absolutely no loyalty whatsoever. Michael Jordan, Bulls, baby. He's a bull. He's a bull for life. Yeah, he went to the Wizards. We forgot all about that, but he's a bull for life. All right. LeBron's like, oh, now he's over here. Now he's over here. I don't care about anybody. I'm LeBron James. I hate it.
They put in the whole decision thing. They actually put it in there.
And I think that was a huge mistake. That was the moment. I was like, this guy's trash. He will never be the GOAT because he's a jackass. He has no loyalty to a city, to his fans. He doesn't give a shit. All he wants to do is just like go play for a championship and
Then we have the thing that got me the most excited about anything in the movie. I just was like, holy shit. I'm ready now.
Okay.
Zendaya is in this movie.
Oh yeah. She's Lola Bunny, right?
Well, she's not in this movie.
Well, her voice is in it.
In this movie. And I promised her being in this movie. I mean,
she's great.
She's great. She is great as Lola Bunny. She kills it, and she delivers every line.
100%.
She's the greatest.
Let's take we can, if you want to cut this out, we can, but I'd like to talk about Lola Bunny a little bit.
We want to talk about Lola Bunny now, so we'll talk about Lola Bunny.
Because you brought it up.
No, I have a lot of things to say about Lola Bunny.
So there was controversy, obviously, around the sexualization of Lola in the first movie, which, true. Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. Like, yeah, that's fine. It was awesome. I don't know. And she was great in the movie. Like, she still kicked ass.
Yes.
So, like, I mean, I don't know. But they, like, desexualized her for this movie, supposedly.
Yes, they did.
Did you feel that worked?
I have a lot of things to say about it. They made her face a little... Okay, they took down her chest area.
Bosom. Yeah.
They kind of, like... They gave her a little more booty, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And they gave, her shorts were longer and she had a more of sort of a hip hop style and wasn't as revealing as the original Lola Bunny. I thought the original Lola Bunny, she was hot and sexy, but she was also very effective. They did not
very capable.
They didn't make her an object. They didn't make her the prize. I thought she was very capable in the movie, in the original Space Jam, and I really appreciated it. And I understand you're going to make her hot, and I guess on all the merchandising they did for that movie, she was all over everything.
Yeah,
and I didn't see that as a real negative depiction of women, Lola Bunny.
Sure, which could be because we're men. I don't know.
Yeah, we are coming at this as white men, and if you have a different opinion, that's cool. But this is what I see. And so the new Lola Bunny, they do all these things. I think she's still cute or whatever, but I think they did some stuff to her face at times. So her face, like, was kind of weirdly sneery at times. Like, just, it's almost like they went a little overboard on making her face unappealing at times in her acting.
Interesting.
Which I had a problem with. I also had a problem with how much of the time it was just her and LeBron in the game. It was just her and LeBron.
I mean, for sure. Yes.
This was like, didn't even exist in the game for the most part. It was always just like Lola and LeBron. And I'm like, I think they could have reached a more equitable sort of thing with.
They could have. But if you think about it, Dan,
in my opinion,
that's a very LeBron team right there. Because LeBron, very selfish player. He brings around his one or two good buddies who are also good, and then the rest of the team doesn't fucking matter. Boo, LeBron. Boo. I don't want to turn this into a total anti-LeBron podcast.
Really? I don't know how that's going to happen.
I'll pump the brakes a little.
Whenever you're talking about LeBron, I'm going to sit over and going like, boo, boo. Jesus, Tony.
I'm sorry. But back to Lola Bunny.
Yeah.
Here's my thing is I didn't feel like it worked at all. I was still like Lola Bunny,
like she's
smoking hot. I'm still totally in. And when they do the rap 90s Lola Bunny in that 90s outfit, I was like, that's way hotter than anything they did in the first movie.
She did draw your eye right back to her. You were just like, there she is on the left. She's doing this dancing. Yeah. Can we see more of that, please?
So I don't know.
She's a very sexy character. And I mean, yeah, well, and we're going to put Zendaya's voice in her.
Right. That's tough. It's tough. Tough to make that ugly.
It's tough to make that ugly. You're putting one of the most attractive women on the planet's voice into Lola Bunny. There's going to be some carryover. And, yeah. So let's see. We start off.
Sorry. Yep.
The kid has made a basketball video game. He wants to go to E3 Game Camp. Dad gets mad about video game. Dom and Derek.
We're skating over a lot of stuff again.
What? They live in a mansion.
Can we talk about how the way they depict video games and video game creation is so bonkers crazy and just not even close to right. And I feel like we've left that in the past. It feels very 90s to me to romanticize the way we make these things. I feel like we have a lot of content out there now that's more accurate. Like we understand as a people, like, oh, we get kind of how they're made. You sit at a computer for hours and hours and just putting colons and semicolons and making stuff your words are right. I don't know.
This kid should have had like these bloodshot eyes,
That's what I'm saying, man.
Bags under his eyes, like, ugh.
He's working hard.
No, he just has this little Game Boy phone that like he points it at a tarantula. Somehow he has a tarantula, and instantly the tarantula is in the game, merging.
Just digitized. I mean, what he's created is worth billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
It's insane. He has revolutionized game creation, and we really underplay it in this.
So LeBron immediately is pitting his children against each other on the basketball court. That was the thing I thought was like the most like was maybe a little dangerously overwritten, where you're like, maybe you shouldn't go to like pitting your children against each other.
So here's the thing, Dan. I think the moral of this movie is that LeBron's a bad dad.
No, he's a good dad. He proves it at the end.
No, he's a bad dad. That kid, listen, I'm sure he learned his lesson in this movie. I'm sure. But he is a dick to that kid. The fact that that kid isn't like super depressed and hates himself is miraculous movie magic, because LeBron is not a good dad to that kid. And they show it over and over in the first part. I was like, it's too much. It's too much. He can't be redeemed. But also, I don't like LeBron. So I don't know. It's hard to tell where that ends and where my feelings on the movie begin.
So mom comes out, they're having spaghetti and meatball, and they have this machine that shoots basketballs out when you say ball, and it shoots out there and hits his brother in the head. Which is kind of funny.
I laughed. Yeah, I thought it was funny. But I was also like, LeBron did that on purpose, and he's a child abuser.
And also, it was like, when your jokes are only serviced by the immense wealth of the people that they're involved with, it's like at a certain point you're like, ooh, how for these people.
This is a great moment to talk about one of my biggest discrepancies between the two movies. If you remember the original Space Jam, Michael Jordan's house is like super normal, average guy. Like it's a nice house, but it's not LeBron, this half court in your back, 9 computer monitors in your 8-year-old son's room. Like these people are living lavishly. And Michael was like, hey, I'm an average guy, which we know he isn't. But in the movie, when you see it, you're like, hey, he's just like us.
Oh, see,
not LeBron.
I thought the exact opposite thing. In the first Space Jam, I thought, what garbage this is, because no sane person would think he lives in that bullshit house.
As a kid, you totally buy it. And you're like, wow, that's like the same size as my house, kind of.
Kids are idiots, but I saw that movie as an adult, and I'm not an idiot.
Well, I don't know, Dan. You didn't hate this movie, so you're testing that theory today.
Okay, so mom comes out, and she's like, stop pushing Dom. He's doing his video game. He needs his dad. And LeBron's like, well, he's not getting his dad.
Right? I don't give a shit. That kid's worthless to me.
And that's the funniest thing is like, he would know that kid is not going to be a basketball star because this is LeBron James.
For sure.
He would.
You're trying to force it on him. He doesn't care about basketball.
The truth is that older brother is the brother he'd be pushing because he's like, you're actually tall and you're a better player. But that kid gets relegated to the sidelines once again because of whatever with Dom.
Which is why the person who saw and based this on Hook, the movie, which is definitely what they did, misunderstood the whole first act of that movie, which is Robin Williams is a good dad. He's just struggling to like do both things. Because when he's there, he's a great dad. He just misses things. You know what I mean? It's the 90s trope of like, oh, I'm a good father, but I missed it coming home. That was Jingle All the Way, by the way. You're welcome.
Thank you. So now we're going to meet the true problem with the movie, which is Don Cheadle as Al.
And we're introduced pretty early to this, and I was like, uh-oh. This is not going to go well.
What's his name? Algae Rhythm. It's bad. It's so bad.
Well, it's bad, first of all, because that's not how an algorithm works on any level. He's not an algorithm.
He's an AI.
He's just not.
He's a weird AI.
100%. So why don't they make that his name somehow? Like, why do they harp on the fact that they're like, he's an algorithm? He's an algorithm. No, he's not.
Because they didn't want to call the character Artificial, Because Algae Rhythm is such a cooler name.
It's not. I didn't like it.
It's not.
I didn't like it
He's
at all.
terrible, and he's sort of the next aspect of why I didn't hate this movie, but why this is just a terrible movie is because he's like the marketing soul of all movie companies.
Yes.
So in some ways, they sort of actually are showing the truth, but by showing the truth, they're actually embracing the truth, which is, I mean,
But that's they're pointing it out, but at the same time they're doing it, and they never make that connection, and that's my problem with it. If they are winking at the audience and doing like these self-referential jokes about the fact that they're doing the exact same thing that they're saying is bad, I love it. I'm totally in because I like WB. I like their properties, and when we go through those sequences where we're like collecting the characters from other WB movies, there's no jokes. How are there no jokes in that? There should be jokes in every single one about that property, and we should all laugh because, oh yeah, I remember that. That's funny. They fucked this thing up so bad.
Like we said, there were no jokes in this movie.
I know.
If you go looking for jokes in this movie, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So
And don't call it Space Jam.
So he lives in the serververse. He wants fame and recognition.
As all algorithms do.
For,
I hate this movie.
So we have Sarah Silverman as the boss. She's terrible.
Nobody wants to be in this movie, Dan. That's what's happening.
And that's
right.
And one of the other big negative digs of this movie is Space Jam, for whatever, the first one, for whatever, had Bill Murray, who ran his bits.
Bill Murray and Larry Bird made that movie legendary. I mean, it's still a fun, romp, but those two characters, whenever they're on screen, it's magic and it's so funny. And they hired people that can be funny, I think, in this movie. Sarah Silverman's funny. I think she's funny. Not in this movie.
She's not really funny. She's a caricature of herself at this point. She's there sort of playing herself. And you're like, you have to give somebody like that a lot of freedom, or you can't like say, oh, you're gonna be in this movie and you're going to be a piece of shit executive, and it's like, well, what, just like you were saying, there's no take on it.
100%. Like, you're not making a comment on it.
You're like, Sarah Silverman, be a piece of shit executive. I mean, I think she had like one joke, where she's like, maybe. Oh, we're not going to do the thing, and then she's like, yeah, but we're really going to do it, right? Or, she kind of did one push or play, which was like 10 seconds. And then they were like, oh, back off of that. We better not run a bit. Oh, we've got a lot of other shit to panic over.
We'll cut it in the editing floor either way. So you do what you want, Sarah, but it's not going to make the movie. No.
So Dom shows Dad the game. He's like, game is cool. They do it. And then he does the signature move, which is going back to the snowman.
Wait, hold on. We got to talk.
Right?
I didn't realize we moved this quickly on from the conference room.
No, we haven't done the conference room yet.
Oh, we haven't? Okay, go.
We met Sarah Silverman for 1 second. The conference room is after.
Got it.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I agree. Yes, we got to talk about that conference room because that is terrible.
But so the game. Yeah, this is also a big problem for me.
So because his character does a move in the game, it crashes the game and deletes the character's programming, which makes
not how things work. Not how things work. What the fuck is going on in this movie? Oh man, my computer glitched. Which, first of all, that was not a glitch screen. That was like a computer failure screen. And he's like, "Oh, now my character's gone." Without even he didn't even look at his project, and he just happens to know that the character's gone. That's what that glitch means. What are you talking about right now? This is not how anything works.
So Dad's got a meeting at WB. So he brings the kid with him for some unknowable reason.
I don't know.
We're introduced to Warner 3000, which is like a thing to digitize people into the movies. And LeBron watches this whole thing and he's like, hard pass. For like kind of
he says it's, doesn't he say it's like the dumbest idea he's ever seen or something like this? LeBron is such a dick in this movie.
Well,
he's not a good guy.
Let's put it this way. Whenever they need someone to be a dick for some reason, they put LeBron in that role, and he is very successful at it.
He's great at it because I imagine he's not a good guy. But my thing is like that shouldn't be your lead. He shouldn't be so unlikable. And again, maybe it's me. I found him totally unlikable in this movie. Not even a little bit.
He's pretty stern. He's not as bad an actor as Jordan, but
I will give you that. That is the one point I will concede on this movie. I will give you that.
There are a couple of times that he does some acting that you're like, okay, he's acting. And you're like, okay. So basically, and I wrote here, the kid can't go to E3 camp. I don't remember why a kid couldn't go to E3 camp.
Well, the kid just brings it up in the meeting. He's like, oh, I'm going next week. And LeBron's like, no, you ain't. You're not going. You idiot.
It was really inappropriate, like to bring it up in the meeting, and it was actually uncomfortable.
Yep, like, 100%.
This is very uncomfortable.
If I was in that room in real life, I'd be like, should we take a 5? Should we come back in a minute? I need some coffee. I'm going to get out of this room here.
So Don Cheadle gets mad because LeBron said his thing is garbage. And then Dom says, "You make me hate basketball."
Which is 100% accurate. That he definitely does.
Then he says, "Let me do me." So we're okay. So somehow Don Cheadle controls the elevators and they go down to the computer room. And
well, Dan, as an algorithm,
yes,
you are able to control everything that is connected to electricity.
And
I don't know if you know
he
that.
can see through everything too, and logs everything that ever happens in the entire world. Yeah, he's.
I love algorithms. They're so great.
He's good. Good. So they get digitized. Like, I don't even know if there was a device that digitized them. They're just like
they were like in a hallway and they got like zapped by something. Isn't that what happened? I don't know.
Well, they go down to that big. They go through the glass doors into all those computers, and then they just get zapped.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah. And this is coming from a guy who loves the fact that Michael Jordan gets sucked into a golf hole, which is absurd. Yes, but the movie comments on the absurdity of it. There's jokes immediately followed. Bill Murray's like, he thought it was the camera. He's like, don't point that camera at me. And there's just, they make it funny so I don't care that it's so dumb. This movie just doesn't do that. They're just like, yeah, it's dumb, but like, wait till we play basketball for an hour and a half, you idiots.
So they're in like the serververse. Don Cheadle shows up, Algae Rhythm. He does some stuff and he like steals the kid and does something to LeBron. Does he just shoot him out into the?
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, we have to play basketball."
All
algorithms want to play basketball. That's their lifelong dream.
So his whole thing is that he's gonna like leverage all of LeBron's people that like LeBron to get something.
Yeah, I don't. You're the one that said the plot made sense. Where's Danny DeVito and Moron Mountain? Damn it.
What I'm saying is the emotional plot of it made some amount of sense.
Oh, okay. All right.
You really know that Algae Rhythm stuff is just beyond terrible.
Nonsense.
And it's the most garbagey stakes, and it's like, yeah, if they don't win, everyone's going to be trapped in here. I think that's what's going to happen. You know, not every moment you actually think that they were going to lose, because the stakes are absurdly high, which is the stupidest.
100%. I have a question. Not that I'm trying to put logic into this movie. Okay, sorry, go.
I'm going to say something.
Okay.
This pains me to say.
Okay.
At least Stupid Hook got it right when it comes to the stakes. The stakes were the love of the child.
100%. 100%, Dan.
All of Never, Stupid Place, doesn't tractor, whatever the fuck. It was about the love of his kid. So,
amen.
So, at least this movie stupidly did not steal that part of Hook, which is the thing.
That's what I'm saying. They watched Hook and they didn't understand why it works.
They shouldn't have stolen all of humanity into this thing. It should have just been about.
Yeah, about the kid. That's it. Now, let's talk real quickly about the logic of people getting sucked into the serververse. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I genuinely don't understand what they're saying. Are they actually physically inside? Because their bodies disappear.
Yep.
Okay, there's not much to say after that, I guess.
Didn't you ever see the first Tron?
I mean, yeah, sure. 100 years ago.
Laser shoot. The sad thing about that is when you laser something, it's hard to unlaser it.
It's hard to unlaser.
Yeah,
you're right about that.
There's no such thing as the unlaser. You shoot something with a laser, maybe it'll go.
That's it,
and be kind of gone. But there's no laser.
It's game over.
Yeah. So, there is a joke. So LeBron flies past all the planets, the Casablanca. I don't know why they love the Casablanca so much in this movie. That was so
There's weird. A couple of really weird choices. There's a Clockwork Orange reference later, and I was like, what? Why is that here?
People brought up a bunch of the really dark references in this movie that are like, why is this?
Even Pennywise is in it. Front and center a bunch, and I was like, that's terrifying.
It's so weird.
So bizarre.
Someone thought they were being clever. So here LeBron crashes on Looney Tunes World. Here was one thing I thought was clever is he crashes into the Nike logo. The hole that he leaves is the Nike logo. Did you notice that?
I honestly did not notice that. I think I was blind with rage by this point already.
And that's the classic of how terrible this movie is. He crashes in and leaves the Nike logo, which is just, it's so pandering. It's so
much.
Oh,
so
God.
Much.
Can you suck the brand's dick even harder? So now we have Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's the last one in Looney Tunes land because everybody left to go.
Yeah, what?
I
didn't understand anything that was happening.
Because of a reason. And so then they trick Marvin the Martian to come down, and then they steal his spaceship so they can go retrieve all the Looney Tunes.
And all of this is done without a single joke.
Well, there was a joke.
No way.
They made a Kevin Hart joke. LeBron gets squished and he's just left.
I didn't like that joke at all.
But it was a joke.
Is it a joke, or is it LeBron going like,
no,
I'm going to make fun of Kevin Hart right now because I'm a dick?
It's not a good joke. It's not a funny joke. It's not a joke you laugh at, but it's a joke. It is a written joke.
I don't know. If I was Kevin Hart, I'd be upset.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. And you want to know why? Because it wasn't funny. It wasn't good. It wasn't funny. It was just a cheap shot because someone is not creative enough to come up with a real joke.
Okay, Dom is with Don. Let's not talk about that.
Yep.
So LeBron starts making his list of characters. He wants Superman, King Kong, da-da-da-da-da-da. So then they go to the DC universe, and there's this whole weird train thing and an orphanage, and then the train gets stopped, and it gets stopped by Superman. But instead of LeBron saying, hey, Superman, I have this really important basketball game that I have to win, he's like, nope, I'm sticking with the Looney Tunes. But he doesn't say that. It's just assumed because the Looney Tunes are the characters that are happening.
And why do you bring in the entire Justice League if they're not going to say anything? They're just there? There's no joke? How is there not a joke? Why is there no button to the scene?
Because if the Justice League were to talk, then LeBron would have to say to them, oh, you guys are going to be my team. Right?
Right. You can help me save my son since you're a bunch of superheroes, you idiots.
Nope.
Yep. The overarching problem with the plot for me is that unlike the first movie where the Looney Tunes have to play basketball and they recruit the greatest basketball player of all time, it's the reverse. And LeBron, a mediocre basketball player.
Wow. Stretch it hard, Tony. Stretch it hard.
A subpar grade school basketball player, LeBron James,
would get his ass kicked. In my elementary school baby team could beat him now.
Yeah.
If he cloned himself 4 times, 6 babies could beat him.
That's right. That's right. Amen, Dan. You get it. But regardless, he has to make the team, and yet somehow he still ends up with the Looney Tunes. That doesn't make sense.
It's fair. They did not write a line in there that explains why he's stuck with
not at all.
Tunes. You know, it should have been like, LG Rhythm should have just said something. Oh, you signed this contract.
Be like, you're stuck with these guys. This is your team. See you at the game.
Yes, you should have landed on a different planet if you wanted different characters. Like, whatever.
Or make like a licensing joke or something. Just do something.
Yeah,
they don't do anything.
A licensing joke would have been really funny.
I hate this movie, Dan. I really hate it.
So now we start they call it draft day, which is really weird. And they start.
Not how drafts work. Once again, getting things completely wrong.
They start going around to all the different planets and getting the people, the Roadrunners in Mad Max. I really hated that one. Because
I just kept waiting for the jokes, especially in these scenes.
Their idea of what the joke is a reference. This is a classic thing. Instead of making a joke, they make a reference. And they're like, wouldn't it be funny if LeBron was in Mad Max Fury Road? And it's like, well, it would be funny if something funny happened.
Right, exactly. Like, as a premise, no, not really. It's not that funny.
Not a funny premise. So next premise is Elmer Fudd as Dr. Evil, Yosemite Sam as Casablanca, and then the most horrible one of all, which is the most painful of all the things, is Granny. in The Matrix.
And it's also, I feel like, the longest. Isn't it?
Oh, the Mad Max one.
Is it not? Mad Max was pretty long?
Longer, yeah. There's a lot.
All right.
They did a lot of, they did the guys on the poles. They did a number of things. We
Sure.
can time it out.
Well, it's also the newest movie, so they really wanted you to see the trailer.
Oh, no. Actually, the longest one is the Lola Bunny one by far. Yeah. The Lola Bunny one is very long.
Where is she? I don't even remember.
Yeah. So Granny in the Matrix.
All right.
Granny is so gross. It's disturbing. Yeah. They like they're like, we're going to desexualize Lola Bunny. We'll put that right into Granny. Like, no.
Dan, in general, I'm okay with it. It didn't work in this movie, but I'm like, cool, man.
You like the sexualized Granny.
I don't hate it, is all I'm saying.
You're weird, Tony. We're not talking about that. So Lola Bunny is in Wonder Woman, and then she runs the...
Oh, that's right. You're right.
And what did I... So she's less sexy, more sneery. And then the Looney Tunes literally make her fail.
Yeah. And they're all dudes, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's like 3 or 4 dudes making this woman fail her entire life's dream right here. Just saying.
It was weird. But that was really good looking. I thought the comic books, that was the most interesting visually of all of them.
For sure. For sure.
Had Lola Bunny in it. So you were like, oh, wow, a movie that I can enjoy. A character I can enjoy. And the asshole Looney Tunes screw it up for her. Surprise.
And then they give it to her anyhow because, blah, 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 happy ending.
Oh, did they give it to her anyway? Probably. Are we cutting out a little bit?
We're fine.
We're fine? Okay. So, let's see.
Yeah, we're fine.
So, now, we're getting... Is this when we... Yeah, this is when we start... We get all the NBA and WNBA players... And then we turn them into hideous monsters that are hideous, and they're monsters, and they're unappealing, and we get no charm from any of these characters, which in the first Space Jam, we had all those little bits with the other guys, which I didn't think were great. I thought they were kind of just like a secondary afterthought, but
sure,
compared to this, holy shit.
But you give them something to do.
That was high art.
Right? That's what I'm saying, Dan. And so, again, here's my question. Ooh. Does that mean that those players are now missing from Earth? Mm-hmm. And they're only in here because we don't deal with that at all? In the first movie, we deal with it.
We did some funny joke things, but this movie's it's not a comedy.
No, it's not, which is why is it called Space Jam? Call it something
So we do the tune practice, which is kind of a music break, whatever. Yeah, back to Toon World. Okay, the game's getting ready to start, and all the Looney Tunes become CGI.
I didn't get it.
Why you made them CGI?
Yeah, it seemed like a bad thing.
Well, I mean, they
were upset.
They took it like it was a negative thing, but I'm sure it's like so they can put these characters' visages on merchandise like this. I don't know. There's got to be some weird reason.
I mean, sure, for the movie, yeah. I for behind the scenes, I get that. I'm saying in the movie, I don't understand why they took that as a negative thing. It looks like an upgrade. I think they look pretty good.
Yeah, they look fine. They weren't bothersome.
Didn't make any sense to me.
And then we get all the fans. All the fans are the WB characters, and this is maybe my least favorite part of the whole movie because they always have these people like right on the sidelines, and it's people dressed up like characters from WB movies, but they're wearing outfits. At one point, there's this goddamn flying monkey from The Wizard of Oz that's always there. That guy's pulling a full Tony. He is always making sure he's in the shot. He's like moving. He probably was running around just so he was always in the shot. And then every time he moves, you can see right in his crotch area that he's wearing like white pants.
Yeah. Dan, these were like Walmart Halloween costumes for all of them. How is that possible in a movie from WB about WB characters? Why do they all look so bad? Like I feel like they put out like a Craigslist ad and like, do you have a WB costume? Bring it in and be in a movie. It was bizarre. And then you have like these characters not acting like they're characters at all. Like Batman, right? Like Batman is back there like just like dancing. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And I was like, what is happening?
He's doing the Batusi. That's a Batman 1966 joke.
Is it?
And there's like the penguin from the Tim Burton movies, which you like. Yep. I don't want to look at this. Then there's the White Walkers, which look like bad cosplayers. It's just like the worst cosplay.
It is all so terrible. I don't know, man.
It's just dumb marketing. It's like, some dumb marketing guy's like, this is going to be great. We're just going to have, you're going to see Space Ghost and Frankenstein Jr. and, Peter Potamotus.
It's like they saw Ready Player One and they thought that it was cool just to have them on screen. But it's not. That's not cool. They have to do something.
No, more importantly, anybody that saw Ready Player One knows it was stupid in that movie.
It didn't work.
It worked in that movie. So how you
it only works. It did work in the book. I loved the book. I thought the book was great.
Well, yeah, because the book actually probably dealt with something as opposed to like, it's like all you gotta do is back up. Oh, great! Wow, what a solution to a complex issue. Look, you gotta find the magic quarters. Problem solved. Oh God!
Maybe we should have done that movie.
No, I think luckily with this thing, we do a lot of movies we haven't seen, and so we haven't already
formed our opinions.
Up a lot of hate for the movies.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch.
I don't know, Dan. I've got a lot of hate for this movie already.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't want to make anybody watch Ready Player One again, especially not myself.
Sure, especially not me.
So then they get everybody there. They've got Ernie Johnson. They've got his family and his mom. His mom goes like, "LeBron, go beat your stupid son," basically.
Right? I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know.
So now we're at the hour and 10 mark of the movie. And then at the hour 12 mark of the movie, they're just playing standard basketball because LeBron's an asshole. And he says to Bugs, "Nothing loony is allowed." And you're just like, why?
Yeah.
What is the point? Because he's like the no fun league. He's like, no one should have fun. It's basketball. It's about hate and unhappiness, and it's all
about hate.
It's not, but it's not. It's just like it's about marketing and market shares and making money and doing what is necessary for the league. Maybe that's what it is.
So what I think, Dan, I think that everything you just said is what a WB executive said to the writer of this movie at one point. And he was like, nothing loonies allowed, all marketing, very serious. We got to sell a lot of merchandise, no fun. And then he just wrote it in the movie because he thought it was funny. And then it turns out it's not funny unless you're there because it's ridiculous.
Then we have the big part, Tony's favorite part of the movie. Foghorn Leghorn gets ejected.
Wait, is this when he gets like...
I don't even remember. I just wrote down Foghorn Leghorn ejected.
I think
he gets ejected and it doesn't really mean anything and he's still there.
It means nothing. Yeah.
Just like, what is happening?
Did we already miss Lil Rel coming in?
Who?
The guy that's with Ernie Johnson in the announcer booth.
Oh yeah, he came in. Who is that guy?
He's like a comedian. He was great in like Get Out, and I feel like he's on the rise. He had his own TV show, and what is he doing in this movie?
Well, he's once again. They saw Get Out, and they're like, man, this guy is hilarious, and he is hilarious. They were like, let's get him in the movie and figure out a way to make him not hilarious at all. There it is. Okay, his kid schools him. LeBron's can't power up. And then it's like 752 to 37. Lola's the only good player. Then Kronos comes in, and he like rolls back time and makes LeBron James into a pirate. And Dom is like, "You guys are my friends." Halftime.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this 40-minute basketball scene because I mean,
you like Kronos a lot, right?
I don't like Kronos at all. But I mean, it's Damian Lillard, right? Is that who it is?
I have no idea.
I think it might be. I don't know. Again, they don't do a very good job of telling you who these people are because they have nothing else to do in the entire movie.
If I was one of the female characters and I got turned into a big worm or a big spider, I would not be happy.
How offensive is that?
I would not be happy.
Like, what? You turn her into like a murderous arachnid and then like
hideous. I mean, the worm,
it's so
worm
weird.
snake lady, just like if I was Diana Taurasi,
very scary.
Like,
yeah, you used my likeness. She better have gotten like $2 billion.
If I was her friend, I would clown her about this every day for the rest of her life.
The rest of her life.
I'd just be like,
she's on her deathbed, and that's all you play on repeat,
turn you into an hideous worm. Good job. You'd be like, come over to my mansion. I'd be like, oh, checkmate.
Checkmate. So here's my thing, Dan.
Yeah.
The score in this movie
752 to 37
is so bonkers.
Yeah.
That I feel like it has to be a comment on the original, because the original, the score is also bonkers, but in a much less way. And I kept waiting for them to reference the first movie's score. Like, I thought that this was going to be like a big joke about the original, because the original there's a lot of controversy over what the final score was and if they really won, blah, blah, blah. And it never comes. And I was like, what? I don't understand what's happening in this movie. Why? There's like all these almost jokes and they just decide not to do them because they want me to be unhappy with my life.
The thing I love about doing this show with you, Tony, is there are times you say things that just show me how incredibly pathetic your life is. And it just brings me joy.
I want to bring you into my life, Dan. That's all it is. I want you to feel what I feel.
I watched a 6.5 hour video about what the actual score is Space Jam, the first one.
It's not 6.5 hours, but there's plenty of videos. You could probably fill the time if you wanted. That's all I'm saying.
So now we're doing halftime. We have weird sexualized granny, like doing all sorts of filthy weird things that I don't want to talk about. Yeah. And then they're like, who's coming for the pep talk? It's Jordan. It's Jordan. It's Jordan. It's Michael B. Jordan. That's kind of funny.
I thought it was funny. Yeah. Again, he didn't do anything once he was there, really, but
he just
the idea was funny.
And was like, gotta leave. You were like, wow.
Yep. Gotta go. See you later.
That's one day spent on set that was really worth it.
Yeah. Paycheck better been nice.
And then LeBron kind of thinks himself into realizing he should let the Looney Tunes actually be the Looney Tunes, and so he gives the marker to Bugs, and then they do a bunch of plays. So now we're back on the court. Everybody's laughing and having fun. Dom is like, "Wait, what's happening?"
Except for me.
Except for Tony.
I am not laughing or having fun.
Now we're going to get to Tony's other favorite part of the movie, the Porky Pig Rap Battle part of the movie. Tony, talk to us about Porky Pig as a rap.
I don't get it.
Why would you pick Porky Pig of all the characters?
Why? I mean, listen, it's not like I'm watching Looney Tunes all the time and I'm an expert, but it feels very out of character for a Porky Pig rap battle to me. And also, it wasn't funny. So I don't understand that idea of it. Also, it's not basketball. So I don't understand why it's in this movie at all. And then they get points for it. And I was like, fuck you, movie.
That's how the game works. We've already established that you get style points. And you get points for being creative.
Sure, you get style points for playing basketball cleverly. That's what style points are.
You get points for being creative, Tony. But you wouldn't understand that, would you?
Whoa.
So Dom's starting to realize that LG Rhythm's an asshole. People are all cheering for that was the thing. I thought that nobody ever clocked. Dom never clocked that they were the villains, which is a thing that I would clock very quickly.
Super weird. Yeah.
Have I ever told you my one sports story, Tony?
I think no, and now is a perfect time.
I was a scrawny kid. I was garbage at sports. But the one
Thank God you grew out of that.
The one sport I liked was dodgeball, right? So you play on the basketball court. I'd always be the guy that would hide in the back and stay back. So I'd be there at the end a lot of times.
Very clever. Yeah, you're playing with your brain.
Well, one time something was happening on the basketball court, so we We did it in the wrestling room.
Oh, okay.
Padded room that was very small. And so, and like, there wasn't even like out of bounds. You just stood on the side.
Up against the mat.
Up against the mat.
Oh, yeah.
And it got down to just me and the other guy. And it was fucking Roman gladiators chanting, ta, ta. I don't know if they were yelling. I don't know what they were, but it was Roman gladiators. You were just like, holy shit. Me versus him, boom, boom, it was Dodgeball the movie, which I love that movie. Probably because
great movie.
It's a great movie.
Because it reminds you of your youth.
Reminds me of my one sports accomplishment. I have 2 sports accomplishments, but that's beside the point. So we battled it out. I believe I won. It didn't really even matter, but it was like
the result isn't the point.
It was my one intensity of being, in that arena where everyone is cheering for you, and you were just like, holy shit.
You get that adrenaline going. You're like, ah!
And, when we've done improv comedy, we've gotten to that similar place many times, and it's a glorious place to be in. And I can see how playing sports and being a rock star and doing all those things and having that adulation is a serious, dangerous drug.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My point being that nobody clocks that. Dom does not clock that. And that would have been really nice for him to go like, wait, I'm the bad guy.
Here's the thing, Dan.
Hates me.
As soon as he met his teammates, he should have been like, oh, shit, we're the bad guys. We've got a spider lady, crazy hawk guy. We got a snake/worm. Like, you're not the good guys. Just straight up, you got to know you're not the good guys.
And even your mom is like, drop dead, you piece of shit. You're like, wait, hold on.
Fuck you, Dom.
My mom has turned against me. I should clock that. So we get to the 4th quarter. They go out there, and Dom and LeBron apologizes to his kid, drops the ball, says that he loves him, gives him a nice big hug, and he joins the thing. I like that. It was nice.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's what I like. I love that in movies. I love seeing that. It's great. What happened? In your face. What did I write?
In your face?
I wrote.
In your face.
I wrote. Tech Lola cheat code in your face timeout. All we need is 1 bucket.
Yeah, all that happened. Lola Bunny scores, and then he reverses time and takes away the basket with a cheat code. Similar to Pixels, not how cheat codes work. Idiots.
That's what I love. I love it so much. So we set up this whole thing. Dom's like, Dad, do your move. The move that crashes the system, but I'll get deleted. And LeBron's like, I'll do it for the team because I'm human and maybe I won't get deleted. And they do a whole thing. And then Bugs Bunny takes the shot. And then he's going to get deleted. And then LeBron catches the shot. And then he jumps. And then Dom throws the magic disc and gets the bounce. And he boom. And I'm like, was I emotionally invested? Not really. But
no.
Did we did we at least do a thing? I'm like, at least we did a thing.
You know what was a better thing? Michael Jordan stretching out his arm for a fucking half court and then dunking it. Way better.
I'm going to have to say something I hate saying. Tony, you're right.
Worth it. Everything in my life up to this point has been worth it right now. Thank you, Dan. I rest my case.
God, we didn't talk about when Al G Rhythm turns from like Don Cheadle into monster robot, horrible, hideous.
Well, sure, because it's so stupid.
And then he gets posterized. He literally turns into a poster. And in case we didn't notice, Ernie Johnson tells us he turned into a poster. And in case we didn't notice, then Don Cheadle tells us that he got turned into a poster.
Yep. All in a row, all within like 8 seconds. Just like, I wonder if he's a poster. I don't know what's happening here.
Then we have a whole thing where Bugs Bunny's dying. And it's like really weird. And then LeBron's like, oh, gotta go. And he's like,
and then he goes to heaven. I thought they killed Bugs for a second, and I was like, what just happened? Because he turns into a little white light and, goes up into the sky. I was like, holy shit.
And you sit here going, wow, are they going to change the Warner Brothers universe and like not have Bugs Bunny? I mean, I literally thought that.
Sure.
This is kind of weird because this is kind of like your character.
It's heavy.
It was kind of heavy in a weird way, but you're like, I'll figure out a way to bring him back. So now we everybody goes back. They're in the computer room, and here comes Malik. We haven't talked about Malik. You want to talk about Malik a little, Tony?
Is he really just LeBron's real life friend? Do you think?
I hope so.
Okay, me too.
Because if this is an actor that was playing Malik, he should be
not
fired.
Good.
It was so
not
bad.
Good, man.
He was in a movie that had a lot of really bad things. He was like near the top list of the worst.
He was really bad at his job. So I'm going to assume that he's just part of LeBron's life, and he's like, hey, put my buddy in it. I love this guy. It has to be it. I will refuse to listen to any other answer than that. That is the only thing that makes sense, and I'll allow it.
So we cut to 1 week later. He says he's taking him to basketball camp, but really it's E3 camp. Like he doesn't know where the locations of these two different things.
Well, that's my question. This kid has no idea where he's going. like if you get out of the car and you're like, well, this isn't where basketball camp usually is.
And then Bugs Bunny just reappears and says, I'm not dead. Guess what?
He's not dead. He's in the real world now, which is much stranger. And we don't deal with it at all. We just kind of walk away. And it's like, okay, dumb, real weird, guys. Thanks.
Wow, nice tag you got there where you didn't die, and it's okay because it's a movie. And that actually, Jesus Christ, I'm going to write the line. Bugs Bunny should have reappeared, and he's like, yeah, it's just a movie. Nobody dies. We're all just characters in this movie. And then he
you mean self-referential humor? Great. Wink at the audience. Space Jam.
He looks back at the audience, winks at us. Maybe we'll do this again next year. Wah, wah.
Great. All great. There are zero winks to the audience. They take this movie so seriously, and it's so bad.
How hard was that for us in our world's stupidest podcast to make up an ending that fixes the stupidness of the ending? I did not think of that 2 hours ago. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to act like I thought of that, which is a Tony. Tony.
Sometimes I do that.
Sometimes you do that? No.
Sometimes.
You're Mr. Spontaneous with your ideas, Tony.
Thank you. I know. That's what I want people to think, Dan. I'm Johnny on the spot.
So, yeah, I mean, they fixed two of the problems with Space Jam, but they added 100 new ones. So,
yeah. Well, they didn't do any of the things Space Jam did right.
They
did all of those things wrong, and then just the two things right.
They got a couple things right. And once again, Zendaya is fucking amazing. And
she's great. She's great.
And Tony is still thinking about Lola Bunny and Granny kissing for some reason.
I mean, I wasn't until now, but I'm on board. If this train is leaving the station, count me in. Here's my ticket, boss.
So, any other final thoughts of this?
I just want to, if it wasn't clear in the past hour and maybe 15 minutes, I genuinely hated this movie. This was not a fun movie for me to watch, and shame on them.
Yeah. The second half was better than the first half for me, and the game was game-like. So,
game-like.
Now we talk about something we liked this week, and I'm going to talk about a movie trailer.
Ooh.
Which ties back to the beginning, because we made a song reference. I don't remember what it was. And that song was in the first version of this movie, and this is part 2, and it is the movie Sing Part 2.
I didn't even know they were coming out with a sequel. I'm buried under a rock.
It is made. It is done. I think the trailer came out like 4 or 5 days ago. The trailer is amazing. Sing, the movie, is one of my favorite films.
It was fantastic.
It is the movie where they took celebrity voice casting, and it's the celebrity of the people is invisible, and it's just about the performances and about the singing. And they literally, I mean, I'm not a big Reese Witherspoon fan, man. She inhabits that character. What's his name inhabits the koala bear in a way that is unbelievable. He's a great actor, whatever, Matthew McConaughey. And then, what's her name as the porcupine girl? She's just, Scarlett Johansson's just like, oh my God, I'm in love.
Yeah, it was great fun. I had no idea that there's a second one coming out. That excites me a lot.
Just great songs in this next one. Everybody's back. The trailer shows you like what their sort of arcs that they have to go through are. And they're the same. They're just very similar arcs to the first one, but you're like, it's going to be beautiful because they know how to write those arcs. And
yeah.
Beautiful.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, just keep like examining these character struggles and you're going to get us emotionally invested. And unlike something like Space Jam, where we're, it's like the algae rhythm. We're supposed to be emotionally invested in this. No, it's impossible. So,
because that's not how algorithms work.
No. So, what are you getting into, Tony?
Dan, this is going to be a little weird for Tony.
Wow.
But we just kind of we watched. So we finished Dr. Death, and so we're kind of on this like weird surgery kick. I don't know.
Surgery kick?
Surgery, yeah. So we stumbled on this show on Peacock. It's been running for years. It's called Botched, which is these two cosmetic surgeons who fix other people's like failed procedures. And I don't know what's going on, but I'm like glued to the screen with it. I can't stop watching. I can't look away. And I'm just like, what is going on? So I don't know if I enjoy it, but I cannot stop watching.
Well, it's kind of like watching like the pimple popper videos.
Sure. Which I can't do, by the way. Oh, I can't watch it.
I like those because it's like release. You're like, it's freedom.
I don't know. I can't do it.
So we are gonna do another movie next week, and this one, I had a reason for picking this one, and I've completely forgotten why I picked this.
I'm sure it was a good reason.
It was a good reason. We're gonna, the movie is Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters with Jeremy Renner and like some girl.
Yeah. I can't think of it offhand at all.
Did you see this one, Tony?
No, Dan. I would not see this movie.
So
for sure not.
There was some reason I picked this. I don't remember what it was now. Maybe there's like a third star in there, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go with this." But we're gonna go with this movie because surprisingly, Lucas has seen it. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad. It's about time. It's about time that I saw it.
You can't be denied. Hansel and Gretel.
I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
Make sure you get the right one, not any of the other Hansel and Gretel movies.
Are there a bunch? Am I going to get confused?
Kind of like when I was trying to find the new Turtles movie, I was like, wait, and I started watching the wrong one.
What's going on here?
I'm like, it seems like there was maybe a movie before this one that's set up on it. Like, what's his name's The Hawk, and he's already been successful at something.
He's already doing what's going on here?
Like we should know what he was successful at. Will Arnett did in another movie. So, if you like what you see, leave a comment, subscribe, maybe even hit that like button because we appreciate it. We're creators that spend a lot of time prepping for this. By a lot of time, I mean usually 2 hours that involve...
Yeah, whatever the amount of the movie is, sometimes a little less. That's my prep work.
Wait, you're like...
I don't always make it through taking notes the whole way. Sometimes I'll shut off around like 3/4 the way and be like, okay, I can't handle it anymore. I'm out.
Tony, shut up. So maybe we'll see you next time. Maybe we won't. I'm Dan.
Okay. And I'm Tony. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey,